Welcome to the Modernlegacy Podcast, where we help players, parents, coaches, and ambitious individuals reach to the next level, both on and off the pitch. Every episode will be packed with practical advice, real experiences, and conversations to help you develop and succeed. This podcast is proudly sponsored by our sister brand, Questa Sports, your official teamwear partner. Let's get into today's episodes. Oshin, how are you today?
All good today. Yourself?
All good, all good. Are you looking forward to this second episode?
Yeah, looking forward to it. The first one was a lot of fun, so can't wait to get started.
Okay, so today's topic is going to be what parents get right and wrong in youth football. Okay, so the first one will be how parents can best support their child. Parents can do to support their child that plays football.
They just focus on, at a young age, focus on the kids having fun and learning. I feel like I grew up with a lot of lads whose parents were they had the mentality of everything has to be a win. So kind of growing up, if you didn't win, the parents were kind of annoyed or disappointed. But from the ages of like 7 up to even 12, it's not that important. It's more important that you're developing, you're learning, you're improving than the results. So I'd say just parents need to learn that kids need to develop more from the early ages rather than focusing on results and winning games and winning trophies.
Brilliant, brilliant. And for me, definitely how parents can best support their child. Just be present. Do you get what I mean? Be a present parent. What I mean is like be present to their games, bring them to matches, bring them to training, be supportive as much as you can if they look like they're loving the game and they're passionate about the game. And even if they have less interest, support them to kind of increase their interest. But yeah, just be supportive right through their journey. Bring them to train, like I said. If it's extra sessions that they need to kind of improve what they need to do in matches for them to get better, just support them as much as you can and just being the best version you can be for them. Look into its common mistakes from the sidelines that you see.
Just parents getting involved too much. I had it firsthand, a lot of parents, because of the relations between parents and coaches. Sometimes growing up, the coaches can be parents of the players, so other parents are kind of friends with them. You see a lot of parents that aren't in the coaching staff end up coming in and they try to coach players during games, and then you're getting like 3, 4 different voices, so it ends up confusing the kids. And I've seen that turn players off playing football because they're getting told one thing by their dad, one thing by their coach, one thing by their mate's dad, and it just gets really confusing and overwhelming for them. So I'd say just let the kids play football, don't put too much pressure on them, and just let them play the game.
Yeah, very good, absolutely. Common mistakes parents can have from the sideline is, being getting too much involved. Players are the ones that get affected whenever parents or anyone gets involved on something that they shouldn't be getting involved in. What I mean is, coaches are quite sensitive in a way. Is that if a parent is really getting involved too much or being annoying or just over talking too much, or who gets affected, the child gets less minutes. So for me, players are the ones that always get hurt in this situation. So my advice to parents in general is just stay off. If you have any issue, pull the coach to the side, have a little meeting, discussing some different things in a good manner, in a good way. But coaches are very sensitive. So my advice to parents is for your kids' sake, just let the game play, let the players play, so your kid doesn't suffer. Your kids get to play as much minutes as you can, so the coach doesn't really take it out of your kids by maybe saying, you know what, I'm going to put Jimmy on the bench this week. Do you get what I mean? Or I'm going to put Sarah on the bench this week. You have an annoying parent and I just had enough. So yes, my advice to parents is, let the kids play, let the coaches also coach so your child doesn't get affected. Okay, brilliant. So the next one is managing expectations around professional football.
Yeah, I think the one thing a lot of parents need to understand is only a very, very small percentage of players actually make it to the very top, to some sort of professional level. It's like 1 or 2% of all players. So parents need to focus on that. And I understand if you want to push your child to making it to the top level, but you also have to let them enjoy their life growing up. You can't just be focused on they're going to make it professional, they're going to make it professional. Because I know a lot of stories is it's kind of the parents chasing what they missed out on and what they didn't do. And they're pushing it all on their child, on their son or their daughter to make it professional just because they didn't, when it might not be what the kid wants. So I feel like parents just need to listen to that and let their kids understand, push their kid as far as they can, but let them enjoy their life. Let them go out with their friends. Let them go to the beach instead of going and doing runs or practicing football. Just let them enjoy their lives and see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, look, you are very correct there about parents. Parents need to definitely, be parents. Just enjoy the process and support your kids. Also, aligning your kids with maybe the professionals early doors. What we mean by that is the best people at what they do and kind of let them kind of help you through that journey. Because a lot of parents have never been a pro. A lot of parents don't really know how to get there to be a pro. They're kind of guessing through it. So sometimes if you can align yourself with someone that you think that can understand the path, you understand how to get there, and let them be the ones that set the expectations. Let them be the ones that kind of, do the planning on how to get the pro. But there's no doubt about it. You just need to surround them with the right team. The parents are part of that team. So it's all about the team. But like you said, let the kids obviously outside football do whatever they need to do. But if your child has that ability to get to the top, then obviously do what you need to do to build a support system to get them there, because the percentage that get there is quite tiny. So you really have to put a lot of work in. The team around, the parents and whoever's around can definitely help manage those expectations and making sure that the child is guided the right way to get to where, to their maximum potential. So this one is the importance of long-term development over short-term results. Yeah. So yes, people say obviously when you're in academy or when you're playing in teams and when you're younger, you do have that situation where people go, oh yeah, we're just developing at this stage, and players can get too relaxed as well. So, you don't want to get too relaxed, and that's why academy teams are always have scouts out there, always looking to recruit. So if it is all about you developing and chilling out and not actually putting the work in, why are they looking to bring people in and release some players? So yes, it is a long-term goal, but it's also we need some short-term results. So what does that mean? You need to have a little bit of motivation to be the best version of yourself short-term, also planning for the long-term. So yes, well, the way we taper people's growth and development, managing players now and see how many of them can go all the way is, yes, we do have a long-term plan for you, but short-term, yeah, and that's why parents obviously aligning with the right people to take their kids to from point A to where they need to get to, is making sure, yes, we're in the development phase, but we need to have some short-term targets that we need to hit to make sure that we get kept in the process, in the academy process. So when someone new, when they recruit a new player, it's not us losing our place. So yes, have that long-term vision, but short-term goals, short-term small little goals, short-term motivation, short-term drive to get us to the long-term goal. It's very important. It's a little bit of both, a little bit of long-term development, long-term goal, but short-term, we need to make sure that we're being the best version of yourself. Yeah, you need to make sure that you become a winner. You want to be a winner. What I mean by that is, whenever you hear me say that's not really the scoreboard. It's about being a winner yourself, being the best number one version of yourself, because you can be number two version of yourself as well. And do you know what? I let myself down. I didn't give it my best in the match today, or didn't give my best in training. So when we say winner, we use a lot of winning mentality in our program. It doesn't mean the scoreboard. So yes, for parents, forget about the scoreboard, but looking at, is my child getting better all the time? Are they being the number one version of themselves?
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I'd feel like the player's development is obviously important, but it's those little things of, can you be the best version of yourself? Are you better than you were yesterday as a person, as a player? Those little things are all huge in the long-term development. But without those little short terms of day by day, getting those small wins, those little boosts each day, each week, you can forget about the long term. So I feel like it's important to almost, like, players always set the plan out and they go, right, this is the goal in 5, 6 years, but forget about what they need to do to get to that goal. They just think, right, if I just keep going the way I am and put a little bit more effort in every so often, I'll get there. They don't understand like the little things of getting up that hour earlier to make sure you're 15 minutes earlier for training than everyone else. Those little things develop your character and your mentality towards things. And those are the difference between developing from jumps to only developing 1 or 2%.
The last one on this, before we go into the quick fire questions is, what coaches wish parents understood?
just that like mistakes are going to be made, both from a player's point and a coach's point. Obviously, coaches make substitutions, all that. The game changes. They end up losing the game because of the subs. It's a mistake, but not everything has to be a negative. Sometimes the mistakes are always good because you're learning from it. Now I feel like people don't understand that mistakes can actually benefit you in your personal growth and the growth of your knowledge on the game and how you play. Then some parents just think mistakes are bad completely and they discourage their kids, so their kids get afraid to express themselves in case they make a mistake, which kind of takes away from that bit of enjoyment and that bit of expression in the game for the kids.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, for me, definitely is what coaches wish parents understood. For me, would be, yeah, that it is a process. To be part of that process. Like I said, short term, medium term, long term. Every child has different coaches that can get the best out of them. You know what I mean? Finding the right coach that you think can get the best out of my son or my daughter is something that parents need to understand as well. If you feel like a child is not getting better with another coach, and that's the good thing about private coaching. If you feel like a child is not getting better, well, you can always move them to different private coach till you find a coach that can take your child development to the next level. Right, we're going to go into the quick fire questions there, Ocean. Okay, so the first question would be currently in the World Cup. Obviously, we're in the knockout phases now. Obviously I haven't been able to watch some of the night games. The games are too early in the mornings and stuff like that. But for yourself, best player currently in the World Cup, would you say?
I feel like the obvious shout is going to be Messi, top goal scorer. He's scored, I think, 80% of Argentina's goals so far this tournament. But I also like the look of your man from Rovers, Pico Lopez. He's been for someone from such an underdog country, he's been one of the top three performing defenders in the whole tournament so far, which is huge, especially for Irish football. It's huge. And I think he's done very well so far this tournament.
Brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. Good to highlight, obviously, because this is an Irish podcast. Good that you highlighted Pico Lopez there. And brilliant for him. Brilliant for him. Great to see him doing a tremendous job. That team, that Cape Verde team, anyways, have been doing well in the African Cup of Nations. I watched them about 2-3 years ago, and I think they defeated Nigeria and Ghana or something like that, So they're a very strong side. So I'm not surprised in general that they've done well this World Cup. So fair play to them because they're they're very, very strong. They've beaten a lot of teams in the African Cup of Nations, and in Africa, like Nigeria would be one of the top teams, and they gave them they gave them a hard time. So I'm not surprised they're doing well in this World Cup. And yes, well done to Pico Lopez, and welcome to Cape Verde team. But yeah, no, it's an interesting World Cup. There's so many big players showing up this World Cup, so which is brilliant to see. The likes of Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane, Mbappe, Messi. Yeah, so many there. Ronaldo obviously getting a few goals as well. So yeah, it's brilliant. It's been a brilliant World Cup so far. But good to see all the big players shining as well. Okay, the next question is biggest coaching lesson you've learned about parents?
Probably just to be patient with the parents, because obviously parents can kind of get a bit more when they're putting their kids into sessions every week, twice a week, whatever. They can kind of want the development to be rushed. And obviously, if they're kind of getting on your back about why they're not improving so quickly, you kind of have to be a bit patient with that and let them understand that, look, the development takes time. It's not going to be an overnight job. It's going to take 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, whatever. Some kids obviously are earlier developers. Some kids are late, but you just have to focus on that. It's not an overnight job. It's going to take time and effort.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, patience and trust in the process, which is quite difficult. We used to use that word a lot in coaching, trust in the process, because it is genuinely a process. One thing every young player should add to the game, I would probably say scan a bit more. A lot of players that we're working with is this week was more been scanning, can we scan a bit more? Because sometimes scanning can be like, oh, players can be like, what is scanning? You know what I mean? So the simplest way I can explain is if the ball is in front of you, can you be able to look behind you? You know what I mean? Because if you can see only the ball in front of you, it's only 50% of the job. And if you can see behind you as well, then that will make you a 100% player. So brilliant. So what I would say to players, if you can take out this, is scan more. Scanning can sound a bit fancy. Just look behind you when the ball is in front of you. If you can do that this week in your training, in your matches, in whatever you do playing around, you're going to become a better player.
Just ball mastery. Just get that first touch down, because your first touch can open so many different doors in game and in training. If your first touch is good, it means you can set yourself up for your pass, your shot, your cross to dribble. Whereas you see a lot of players are very good on the ball, but their first touch is kind of poor. So it takes them 2-3 touches before they're set and they're ready to go. So I'd just say if there's anyone out there that wants to get better this week, focus on those two things, scanning and perfecting your first touch.
Brilliant, brilliant. So that's it. That's it pretty much on this episode there, Oisin. How have you found that so far?
Yeah, it was good. I think it's good insight for the players and the parents. They'll understand a lot more, and hopefully even if a few of them can put it into practice, it's job done.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in to the Modern Legacy Podcast. Don't forget to follow the show, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who would benefit from it. Watch full episodes on our YouTube channel at Modern Legacy Soccer Academy. The episode is proudly sponsored by Questa Sports, your official teamwear partner. Until next time, keep improving on and off the pitch. See you on the next one.